SHOT Show 2026 just wrapped, and I've spent the last couple of days letting everything settle in my mind to separate the real game changers from the hype machines. And let me tell you, this year delivered some absolute winners. Today, we're breaking down the 10 best guns I saw at SHOT Show 2026. But we're not just doing a list. We're talking about what actually impressed me, what I got to shoot at Industry Day, and yeah, a couple of things that maybe didn't live up to the hype. Because here's the reality of SHOT Show. Every booth is trying to sell you on their latest creation. But when you actually get hands-on, when you see what works and what's just vaporware, that's when you find out what's really worth your attention. We shot suppressors at 866 yards. We handled the new metal frame competition guns. We saw polymer chassis systems that changed my mind about entire platforms. And we found some surprises that came completely out of nowhere. So let's get into the 10 best guns of SHOT Show 2026, plus a few things that didn't quite make the cut and why. Number 10. Apollo 11 2011. Starting off at number 10, we have something that came completely out of left field, the new Apollo 11 2011. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know we shot the original Apollo 11 about 2 years ago, and it was impressive then. A polymer frame, single-action, double-stack 1911 pistol with a 5-inch barrel, made in America for $1,000. Just the fact that they could hit that price point for an American-made 2011 was an achievement by itself. But Apollo didn't just rest on that accomplishment. They took the last 2 years and improved the design across the board. Here's what's new. Improved trigger feel, upgraded aluminum grip that feels significantly better in hand, all the controls have been refined and operate more smoothly, and the gun just looks sexier overall. They now offer it in black on black, which is a clean look. But here's the real upgrade. They now have a stainless steel bull barrel, and the gun comes ported from the factory. Think about that for a second. A ported 2011, made in America, for under $1,000. I've been in this industry long enough to know that's not supposed to be possible. You're typically looking at $2,000 minimum for something in that category, and that's if you're getting a good deal. The porting is going to make an already soft shooting platform even softer. Combined with the improved trigger and the double stack capacity, this could legitimately be the 2011 that a lot of people end up buying as their first entry into that platform. Now, I told the Apollo guys to send me one immediately so I can beat it up and verify what they're claiming. We'll see if it's as reliable as they say. We'll test accuracy, we'll run it hard. But if it performs the way they're saying it will, this is going to be a huge deal for people who want a 2011 without spending premium money. Number 9. Palmetto State Armory .50 caliber. At number 9, we have Palmetto State Armory's entry into the .50 caliber market. And yes, it looks exactly like a Barrett M82, that PSA reverse engineered from a napkin sketch. But you know what? I'm not even mad about it, because what Palmetto State Armory does better than almost anyone is take expensive niche firearms and make them accessible to regular people at prices that don't require a second mortgage. This thing looks good. I'm going to be honest about that. And at the price point they're talking about, under $5,000, they're going to sell these by the truckload. Here's why this matters. There aren't a lot of semi-automatic .50 caliber rifles on the market, especially at anything approaching an affordable price point. And there's definitely not an American-made option in this range. So PSA is filling a niche that basically doesn't exist. If you've always wanted a .50 caliber but couldn't justify dropping $10,000 on a Barrett, this gives you an option. And even if you can't afford to shoot it regularly because .50 BMG ammunition costs about the same as a car payment, at least you can mount it on your wall and admire it. Speaking of Barrett, I also got to shoot an actual Barrett M82 at SHOT Show with their new suppressor, and that was an experience. I hit a target at 866 yards on my first round, which felt pretty good considering I just missed everything with a different rifle right before that, and everyone pretended not to notice. But back to the PSA .50 caliber. If it's reliable, if it's accurate, and if it comes in under $5,000, Palmetto is going to move a lot of these. And competition in the .50 caliber market is good for consumers. Number 8. HK MR762 A4. Number 8 is the gun I knew I wanted before I even went to the SHOT Show. And after seeing it in person, I want it even more. The HK MR762 A4. Now, I already own the HK MR556 A4 in both 16-inch and 11.5-inch configurations. But I've wanted an HK 7.62 rifle my entire life, and this thing looks absolutely incredible. I got to handle it at the HK booth. I tried to convince them to send me one for review, we'll see if that happens. But if it doesn't, I'm buying one anyway because I need this rifle. Now, let me address the obvious criticisms. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's kind of overkill for most applications. I know all of that. I don't care. Here's what it also is. Reliable, durable, and cool as hell. If I'm thinking about a serious field rifle for big open terrain, long range work, or just having something that will absolutely run no matter what you put it through, I can't think of many guns I'd want more than this. HK has a reputation for building tanks that happen to shoot bullets, and the MR762 A4 continues that tradition in 7.62 NATO. It's a gun that you buy once, pass down to your kids, and it'll still be running when they pass it to their kids. Is it practical? Probably not for most people. Do I care? Absolutely not. This is a want, not a need. And sometimes you just need to scratch that itch. Number 7. Palmetto State Armory, P320. At number 7, we have Palmetto State Armory again. And this time they're taking direct aim at the SIG P320 market with their new modular pistol system. This is not the Dagger, this is something different. They've created a fire control unit-based system just like the P320, which means you can swap frames, change grips, switch slides, and build the gun you want from a modular platform. Everything's designed to be sold a la carte. You can buy the components you want and build your specific configuration. And here's what makes it even more interesting. They're already working with Flux to create a Raider chassis system for it. So right out of the gate, you've got modularity, you've got chassis system compatibility, and you've got Palmetto State Armory's ability to deliver products directly to consumers at prices that undercut almost everyone else. Now, I haven't shot this yet, so I can't speak to reliability or accuracy, but knowing how PSA operates, I'm confident it'll be decent quality and actually available for purchase, which is more than you can say for a lot of products announced at SHOT Show. The real value here is competition. SIG has owned the modular pistol market for years. Having a serious competitor forces everyone to improve and keeps prices in check, and that benefits us as consumers. If PSA can deliver a reliable, accurate modular pistol system at their typical price points, this could be a real game changer for people who want the P320 platform without paying SIG prices. Number 6. Flux Defense P365 chassis. Number 6 is something I thought was a meme until I actually shot it. The new Flux Defense P365 chassis system. Now, full transparency. I'm friends with Ben over at Flux. We've talked for years, and I've always thought the Flux products were interesting, but I've also maintained that they're really the only way you should get into a SIG P320 if you're going that route. But the P365 chassis? I thought that was a novelty. A fun toy maybe, but not something you'd take seriously. Then I shot it at Industry Day, and I was wrong. I was hitting targets consistently at 100 yards with a P365 in a Flux chassis. Not occasionally, consistently. The gun was incredibly easy to shoot. The controls were intuitive, and the whole package just worked in a way I wasn't expecting. The new polymer chassis system feels great in hand, and when you pair it with something like the Stealth Arms 4-inch 9mm suppressor, the entire package is smaller and lighter than a Mark 23, but you're making hits like you're running a standard-size PDW, such as an MP5. It's affordable, and it's modular. If you already own a P365, you can pick up the chassis, try it out, and if you don't like it, pull your fire control unit out and go back to your standard P365. You're not locked into anything. They offer both a metal version and a polymer version, so you've got options depending on what you prioritize. But after actually shooting this setup, I'm a believer. This isn't a meme gun. This is a legitimate, capable platform that's way more practical than I gave it credit for. Number 5, MOSSBERG MAVERICK 88 Semi-Auto. At number 5, we have something that initially had me extremely excited, and I'm still pretty pumped about. The MOSSBERG MAVERICK 88 Semi-Auto Shotgun. This was originally the number one thing I was excited about going into the SHOT Show, and after seeing it, it still ranks high on my list. Here's what makes this interesting. It's a semi-automatic shotgun from MOSSBERG at a Maverick price point. We're talking $600 for a semi-auto shotgun from a reputable American company. The gun is lightweight, available in both 12 gauge and 20 gauge, and MOSSBERG developed a new gas system specifically for this platform. The features look solid, the ergonomics seem well thought out, and at $600, the value proposition is incredible. Now here's my one hesitation. I've heard rumors that they're going to be manufacturing these in Turkey to hit that price point. And while some Turkish shotguns can be good, it does make me slightly less excited than if these were made in the USA. But MOSSBERG has a reputation to maintain. They're not going to put their name on something that doesn't work. So even if it's Turkish made, I expect it'll be reliable and functional. At $600 for a semi-auto shotgun from a known brand, this is going to appeal to a lot of people who want a semi-auto for home defense, hunting, or range work, but don't want to spend $1,500 on a Benelli. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one and running it through its paces. If it performs anywhere close to what MOSSBERG is claiming, this is going to be a very popular shotgun. Number 4. FN SCAR updates. At number 4, we have the new FN SCAR updates. And I need to start this by saying I'm a SCAR guy. I know a lot of people hate the SCAR. I respect that opinion. It's an outdated, overpriced AR-15 with a piston system, but I grew up in the SCAR era. I shot them in video games, I saw them in movies, and I've wanted one since I was a teenager. They work well enough for me. They're reliable, accurate, and fast enough for what I need. And now, FN has finally done what aftermarket companies have been doing for 15 years. They've actually modernized the SCAR at the factory level. Here's what changed. They added a monolithic long rail with an M-lock system, so you can actually mount accessories without buying $300 aftermarket rails. They changed the internals and added a hydraulic buffer, which means you don't have to worry about destroying your optics anymore when you shoot it. They changed the grip to accept standard AR-15 grips, so you don't have to buy proprietary SCAR grips that cost $80. They also updated the trigger to accept AR triggers, though apparently Geissele triggers will still drop in somehow. The gun shoots smoother overall. I got to shoot both the .308 version, which almost took my thumb off when I got it stuck in the ejection port, and the SCAR 16. And as someone who owns a SCAR 17, I was genuinely excited to see FN producing models that people would actually want to buy today. Because let's be honest, a 6-inch quad rail on a 16-inch gun hasn't been cool since 1991. FN finally caught up with what the market actually wants. Now, I do want to mention one disappointment at the FN booth, and that was the FN 509 replacement. We'll get to that later. Number 3, Canik Prime. Number 3, and possibly the coolest thing at the entire show, was the new Canik Prime. And this one's personal because Canik apparently made a change based on my feedback. The Canik booth was absolutely packed. Everyone was excited about this gun, and they changed the one thing I didn't like about the original design. And according to them, they made that change because I mentioned it in a video. Now, I'm just a guy making videos in my backyard, so the fact that a major firearms manufacturer actually listened to my feedback and changed their product design is both humbling and kind of wild. It's a reminder that this industry pays attention to content creators and values genuine feedback. What change they make? They switched to the Radiant Ramjet compensator. And if you watch my AR videos, you know I'm a huge Radiant fan. Their compensators work incredibly well. So seeing Canik partner with Radiant for the Prime has me genuinely excited. The gun itself is a 4-inch polymer frame, striker-fired pistol with an already amazing trigger. Now with the Radiant Ramjet comp, it's going to have even less recoil while maintaining all the features that made the original Canik guns popular. They also come in several different colors, including some custom options that look spectacular. And they updated the texture and rear strap, so it feels even better in hand than previous models. But the Canik booth had more than just the Prime. They're getting into ARs under the US Palm brand, which I might cover in a separate video. And they had a ton of new optics, which actually might have been the star of SHOT Show this year. We're doing a dedicated optics video next week because there were so many good options. The new Canik Prime with the Radiant Ramjet is a home run. Great features out of the box, improved ergonomics, proven compensator, and Canik's reputation for value. This is going to be a very popular gun. Number 2, Steyr pistols. At number 2, we have something I wasn't expecting to be as impressed by as I was. The new Steyr pistols. I got to shoot these at Industry Day, so I know they actually work. And they work well. First, there's the ATC 6-inch competition gun. This is a big, heavy, steel-framed pistol with orange grips. It's basically Steyr's answer to competition guns like the CZ Shadow series. And it shoots like a dream. Soft recoil, great trigger, excellent ergonomics. I put a couple of magazines through it and came away very impressed. I have no idea what the price point will be, but based on how it shoots, I'm interested. But the more affordable option, and the one I think more people will actually buy, is the ATDC polymer frame pistol. This is a striker-fired design with a single-port compensator integrated into the slide. The grip is removable, which is interesting. And here's something I've never seen before. Steyr has released the grip file publicly. You can 3D print your own custom grips for this gun. They've made the CAD files available to anyone who wants them. That's a level of consumer friendliness and support for customization that I haven't seen from any other major manufacturer. And it's a smart move. The 3D printing community is huge, and giving them official files to work with is going to result in some very cool custom grips. Both Steyr pistols impressed me. The steel frame competition gun is for serious shooters who want every advantage. The polymer frame pistol is for people who want a solid, reliable carry gun with modern features at an affordable price. Number 1. Smith Wesson M&P. And at number 1, we have the gun I rushed to see the moment I walked into SHOT Show, the new Smith & Wesson metal frame M&P. You guys know I'm a Smith & Wesson guy. I make no apologies for that. So when I heard they were releasing a metal frame M&P, I had to see it immediately. This is a 5-inch competition-ready steel-framed M&P with aggressive texture that actually gives you purchase without destroying your hands. It's built specifically for competition shooting and serious training. Now, we actually did a video on this 2 days ago after I got to shoot it, but at the SHOT Show, I was still just handling it and getting excited about the concept. But Smith & Wesson had more than just the metal frame at their booth. They also showed off the new 6.86 Plus Performance Center revolver. This is a 7-shot, .357 Magnum with a 4-inch barrel and a single-port compensator. And it comes with multiple optic mounting options. I handled one with an Aimpoint Acro mounted, but you can get different mounting plates for various optics. This looks like an incredible defensive revolver. Fast, accurate, and ready to go right out of the box. Smith also showed their new 4-port inline compensators for the M&P pistols. These are going to pair perfectly with the new optic cuts they're offering, including the Aimpoint Acro cut. I've always liked the Acro, but Aimpoint only made plates for Glocks until recently. Now they're expanding to Canik and Smith & Wesson, which is great news for people who want that optic on other platforms. So you're going to see Smith & Wesson M&PS with inline porting and Acro optics in the near future, and I'm very excited about that combination. The metal frame M&P takes the top spot because it represents Smith & Wesson committing to the competition market in a serious way. This isn't just another polymer pistol. This is a purpose-built steel frame competition gun from one of America's oldest and most respected firearms manufacturers. Things that didn't make the cut. Now let's talk about some things that didn't quite make my top 10, either because they disappointed me or I'm just not sure about them yet. The FN509 replacement. The big disappointment. This was probably my biggest letdown at the SHOT Show. FN tried to create an affordable version of the 509, and I get what they were going for. But the execution left me concerned. The gun shot okay. I put 4 or 5 magazines through it, but those polymer magazines have me seriously worried. They felt like tourist-grade magazines, not duty-grade equipment. And here's the thing. You can cut corners on a lot of things with a pistol. You can use polymer sights to save money. You can make the trigger a bit heavier. But the magazine is not the place to cut corners. That's the component that makes the gun go bang, and it needs to be absolutely reliable. I told FN I'd get one and beat it up to test my concerns. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm rarely wrong about magazines, and these didn't inspire confidence. Booth. Mediocre year. I love CZ'd. I was excited to check out their booth. And while they had some cool stuff, nothing really blew my mind. The P10 just got picked up by the German military, which is great news for CZ'd. They're also introducing the CZ75 Legend, which is a beautiful gun, but neither of those is really new enough to get me excited. I was hoping to see something wild like a quad-ported P10 or some other innovation. Instead, I got different colors of the Shadow 2 Compact and some other minor variations. Not bad, but not exciting either. Rossi/Martin guns. The maybe. I'm 50-50 on these. They look pretty cool and I've heard good things about them. They're affordable and apparently comparable to Canik in terms of value. I haven't shot one yet, so I can't give a definitive opinion. But I'm curious enough that I might reach out and get one for review. Aston Arms integrally suppressed 1022. This is a niche product, but it's kind of cool. Aston Arms had some integrally suppressed Ruger 1022s that looked pretty well done. If you're into quiet .22s, this might be worth checking out. Savage 110 updates. They basically just changed the stock and called it new. There are already 700 different versions of the Savage 110, so this doesn't really move the needle for anyone. So there you have it, the 10 best guns of SHOT Show 2026, plus some honorable mentions and a few disappointments. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description. As always, thank you for your support and for standing up for Second Amendment rights. Remember, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.